Hi guys, I'm Svetlana from Cosplay. So here we are, this is the last part of my Summoner making of video series from Final Fantasy XIV. Today I will show you how I made my fake leather armor, attached some final details and brought the costume to the Final Fantasy Fan Fest in Frankfurt. I've put together a playlist with all the previous Summoner videos, so if you want to watch them all, just click here. And as always, if you want to support us, go on Cosplay.com and grab our cosplay crafting box and make amazing costumes as well. And now let's start crafting. As always, the reference for my summoner was my own in-game character model. All I was missing were the brown leather parts and some additional details. First, I created a pattern with tape directly on my coat. I cut the pieces out and traced them on furniture leather. These were cut out as well, pinned and sewn together with my sewing machine. Since the base was pretty wobbly, I glued in 2mm EVA foam pieces to give it more stiffness. The adhesive I used was contact cement, the same stuff I glue all my foam with. Those little wings on the back were made exactly the same way. I created a pattern, transferred it, stuffed it with EVA foam and sewed it all together. After I was done with the base, I made all the other small armor parts as well. As you can see, it's really all just fabric, foam and a lot of contact glue. I also added some additional details like belts and straps. To give my fake leather armor an even more realistic look, Benny took dark brown fabric color and added shading with his airbrush. He did an awesome job, don't you think? It looks great! After this, he also attached a few decorative strings. Next up, the belt. The steps here were pretty similar. First, I made a pattern directly on my coat. I traced the pattern on red furniture leather, gave it some sew allowance and put everything together. The shape for the belt buckle was first drawn on paper, transferred to 1mm thin craft foam and covered in black wobbler. These buckles were just a few of the pieces I had to build. The summoner has so many details. To get a smooth surface, Benny primed them all with a few layers of flex bond. Then he airbrushed them silver and added a few more shadows with a brush. Now I used contact cement to glue all the individual pieces together. The belt was one big puzzle. For the EVA potions on the back, I carved a shape out of EVA foam and dragged black wobbler over it. Next, I added some extra details, paint and leather until both of my bottles were done. This little book was a hollow cardboard book we found in a crafting store. Benny just covered it with different fabrics. Now I simply pulled everything over my belt and finally it was ready. Since my fake leather armor was really lightweight, all we needed for the attachment were some snaps that Benny and I sewed all over the costume. They were just perfect to assemble everything fast and hold it in place. Ah, and I almost forgot something, my Mikote tail. As you can see, it's just 2 layers of fluffy fabric sewn together. I pulled the tail inside out and filled it with aluminum wire and lining. Then I simply attached it using the wire and the hole in the back of the coat. And finally it was time to get dressed. I applied my makeup, put on my dress and shoes, attached my mighty summoner horn, jumped into my coat and went to the Final Fantasy Fan Fest in Frankfurt. Square Enix showed the final trailer for Stormblood and the game director Yoshi P came dressed up on stage to reveal the samurai, the final job announcement for the expansion. We had a ton of fun at the FanFest and it felt great to meet so many fellow fans and amazing cosplayers. So now that everything is done, I finally can play the game again. Yay! I'll start a new costume. I hope it was inspiring to see a full costume from start to finish. I tried to show as much as possible, but if you still have any questions, just leave me a comment. And now I take your mouse, move it here. Thank you for your subscription. See you in my next video. I'm gonna pet some corgis now.